Whether you're on Team Nikola Tesla or Team Thomas Edison, electricity plays a major part in our everyday lives. Virtually every domestic activity ties to it. And because of this, electrical work will have to be done around the house from time to time. Many of these jobs are doable even by someone with minimal experience, but you have to be careful. Unlike some home maintenance categories where you can get by with trial and error, an electrical mistake can lead to serious injury. So when you're working on these jobs, make safety your mantra and you should do just fine. To begin, let's go over some tips that will allow you to get to know your electrical system. The first thing you should do is find out where the electrical panels are in your home. Panels are generally located in areas where they're out of the way, such as basement, garages, and backyards. And most likely, your main panel is near the front of your house. This is what an electrical panel looks like. These levers inside are called circuit breakers. Breakers are important because they receive electricity from your utility company and control the energy in different areas of your home. Their main function is to make sure no single area gets overloaded with electricity. When it does, the breaker detects it and breaks the connection from the main bus to your individual circuits. There's usually a chart on your panel door that lays out where the areas are, although sometimes they're handwritten as well. To turn breakers on and off, simply look at your chart and see where you wish to either give or take away electricity. Then flick the switch on or off. Odds are your breakers are already turned on. So if you're switching it off, it's usually because you're doing some kind of electrical work, which we'll get into later. Say that within your home, someone is ironing, and at the same time, someone is vacuuming, and it may be on the same circuit. This could make the circuit breaker trip. Usually, this means the breaker is overloaded, which is an easy fix by simply visiting your panel. When a circuit breaker trips, it's going to end up in the middle or leaning a little towards the on position. If you tried to reset it from here, it'll just bounce right back. It won't reset. In order to reset it, we have to turn it all the way to the off position. Did you hear that click? It's off. Now we're able to completely reset it. So make sure you don't overload a circuit with too many items like your iron and vacuum cleaner running at the same time, or you will likely trip a breaker. Lighting is ambience. Sure, it's utilitarian. You want to be able to see well enough to read or to work around the house, but lighting also sets a mood. Sometimes you want more intimate lighting for dinner or entertainment, or because you'll be out of the house and don't need to have the place lit up while you're away. Still, you might like a soft light to welcome you home. Light dimmers are an easy upgrade over the standard light switch, and they give you a great deal of control on how to meet your specific lighting needs. Here's our old switch, and we're going to replace it with our new dimmer. Now let me show you the tools we're going to use. We just need a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver. We've got our voltage tester, and a screw gun is optional. I'm going to go flip the breaker, and we're going to get to work. I find it on the chart. It's this breaker right here. Flick it over, it's off. We're safe to work now. All right, we got the breaker off, our lights are off, we're ready to go. I'm just going to grab my flathead screwdriver and we're going to get started. We just take these two screws out. These screws are tiny, we want to hold on to them in case we need them. And the faceplate just pops right off. I'm just going to set it aside. Okay, now we're going to disengage our light switch, our old light switch, from our electrical box, this blue thing. So what I'm going to do, since I do have my screw gun, I'm going to use it just to speed things up. Put it in reverse, use the slow speed, and here we go. I've got it loose. I'm still going to be careful as I pull it out because I want to test these one more time just to make sure I don't have any electricity flowing through. So I'm going to grab my voltage tester. It's a very simple device. It's basically like a little light bulb here. You touch these two connectors to your wires here and you see if this lights up. If it does, that means we've still got electricity here. If it doesn't, that means it's good to go. So I'm touching it on the two contacts here, and I do not have a light. So there's no electricity coming across here. So I'm safe. Now, I've got to pull these out because we have a couple of different connectors. So this is a standard switch. There are switches that are called three-way switches. Like if I have a switch here that controls our light, and say I have a switch in this room that also controls the light, but we don't here. So that's going to affect how we wire this up, and it's going to be simpler. A three-way switching system is a little more. Okay, so I've got the two leads on the old switch. I'm just going to remove those. In this case, this will accept a Phillips head or a flathead screwdriver. I'm using the Phillips head. A little more on this one, and these just pop right out. Now I'm going to take a look at this and see what I have. I've got my neutrals connected back here, and I've got my hot, and then I've got my light switch. So what makes this light go on, electricity is coming in through this wire. At that point, the switch in the off position does not make this connection, and it won't send the power on up to the light. When this connection is made, by flipping the switch, it essentially makes this connection and the light will turn on. All right, so I have my dimmer here. Let's start with the ground. That'll make sure everything's grounded. And in case we've got some kind of crazy wiring or something, we'll be protected. So I'm going to move over here. So we're going to twist our new ground lead around the ground wire inside the box. Line up the ends. That'll make a good solid connection. We're using a wire nut here. This wire nut is simple. It has an internal system that just cinches the wires together. So I'm connecting the black to the hot. Same technique. And the red to the lead that goes up to the light. So our new switch has leads coming out of it. You remember our old switch, these leads were connected directly to the switch. So that's why we're going to use wire nuts to make this connection. This is the lead we're not going to be using because it's used in a three-way configuration, which we don't have. So I'm just going to safe off the tip of that with another wire nut. Everything's connected. We're going to put all the wires and wire nuts back in the box. It's best to kind of use a folding motion. You can get more in there. So I take it to the bottom. I take it back up to the top, because I need to make room for the depth of this. It's a little deeper than our original light switch. So I'm using this folding technique to get everything back there. Okay, we've got all the wire nuts and wires in. Now we're just bringing the switch in. Our dimmer slider is on the bottom of the switch. We're putting that in there. All right, so I grab my Phillips and I start getting it in there. There's my hole. And the bottom hole. You gotta get down there so you can see where it is. And I just screw it in. All we have to do is put the cover plate on now. So it has a concealed back plate that I'll attach. Once that's attached, this snaps on and there's no visible screws. So let's go through this. I'm gonna put it up there. There's my two holes. I'm gonna grab my screws. So once again, I take my flathead. I'm screwing this mounting plate in. And I'm getting the bottom one. So I'm completing getting the access plate on there, snugging it down tight. That looks good. Everything's lining up. Just one more step. I grab my plate, align it appropriately, and snap it on. And our dimmer is done. I'm gonna go turn on the circuit breaker and let's see how this works. All right, we've completed our installation. Let's turn the breaker back on. Okay, I've got our breaker back on. Let's see how the switch is working. So I'm gonna turn it on. Now I'm at the low setting. I'm gonna turn it up higher and see how we go. It's working great. Dimmers work in many different situations. Dinner parties, reading, TV time, romantic evenings. Whatever the case, once you install a dimmer, you won't get caught in a bad lighting situation again.